Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me spend some time with you. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. Uh, it's always fun, right? um, let's see. To get started, as usual, I have to get the advertisements done. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, notification things, all those buttons that you like to hit that nobody likes to hit. Don't be afraid to leave a comment too. It's okay. I keep track of those things, or I try to. I might not always get to them right away, but I do. The other thing is, of course, the books are available all through jerrymitchell.com, or you can go to givegod90.com and follow the links. Advertisements are out of the way. That's a good thing, right? And let's go to that slide today. Sorry if I just bumped that microphone. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? Everybody's heard it. Probably really good advice in most situations. There may be a situation, though, where you might want to change that way of thinking just a little bit. I have been the recipient, let's put it that way, of a lot of books. Yeah, I'll say a lot. Over like the past 20 years. And the primary focus of these books is how to prepare for emergencies, how to prepare for disasters, how to prepare for the unexpected. You could say how to prepare for the end of the world as we know it, right? Let's just face it. That's what they're out there promoting. But something I have realized in the majority of these books, some of them are just marketing schemes, right? They want you to purchase a particular product or service. It's that simple. That's what it comes down to. Now, our ancestors learned to prepare for a lot of things over many, 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 many years. And they didn't really need to purchase very much at all, right? They bought seeds for their farm, their gardens. And then, as they harvested these things, they kept a portion of those seeds to plant the next year. So, after that initial purchase, that pretty much kept them supplied for their lives. Now, don't get me wrong. We need to be prepared when something happens, and it's going to happen eventually. Emergencies happen, sometimes to us directly, sometimes around us. It happens, right? A lot of people plan for emergencies, they plan for disasters, but they forget about illness. What happens if I get an illness? What happens if I get sick? What happens if I lose my job? What happens if I get injured and I have to change my lifestyle? I basically survived that. A lot of things can happen. And some things we take for granted, right? Things can happen that cause great change. Something you don't want to plan for, but it happens to people every day, is divorce. That causes a drastic change in lifestyle, right? Being prepared should be something we do, because being prepared for something, if that something happens, and it rarely does if you're ready for it, it reduces the stress, it reduces the anxiety, because you've prepared for it. You know what to do in case of an emergency. When I was young and I was in school, they had fire drills. So if that fire alarm went off, everybody knew what to do. Hospitals do the same thing. Police departments do the same thing. Many offices, every once in a while, will have a fire drill. They'll have, unfortunately, schools today around the world have mass shooting drills, those kind of things. So in the worst case scenarios, you know what to do. And being prepared for worst case scenarios is a good idea. It simply is. It's a really, really good idea. But the question I'm going to ask is this: are you prepared for the best? Huh? I have to prepare for the best? What do you mean I have to prepare for the best? Well, there's an example we have in 2 Chronicles that tells us even a king was not prepared for the best. And in 2 Chronicles 31, the king contributed from his own possessions for the regular morning and evening burnt offerings and for the burnt offerings on the Sabbath, new moons, and appointed feasts, as written in the law of the Lord. Moreover, he commanded the people living in Jerusalem to make contribution for the priests and Levites so that they could devote themselves to the law of the Lord. As soon as the order went out, the Israelites generously provided the first fruits of grain and new wine, oil, honey, and all the produce of the field, and they brought in an abundance of everything. And the Israelites and Judites who lived in the city of Judah also brought a tithe of their herds, their flocks, a tithe of the holy things consecrated to the Lord their God, and they laid them in large heaps. In the 3rd month, they began building up the heaps, and they finished in the 7th month. When Hezekiah and his officials came and viewed the heaps, they blessed the Lord and his people, Israel. Then Hezekiah questioned the priests and Levites about the heaps, and Azariah, the chief priest of the household of Zadok, answered him, "Since the people began to bring their contributions into the house of the Lord, we've had enough to eat, and there's plenty left over because the Lord has blessed his people. This great abundance is what is left over." Then Hezekiah commanded them to prepare storerooms in the house of the Lord, and they did so. You can read that in 2 Chronicles 31 for yourself. It's a great example that they just weren't prepared to receive the abundance of the offerings and blessings that our Creator supplied to them. They weren't ready for it. Storehouses needed to be built and made ready to keep these things safe. They needed to keep them neatly in order. And in this, we have an example of the supplies for the temple. And they weren't ready. They just weren't ready. But what happens when our Creator supplies us with something really, really great? So much of it that we aren't ready. What happens when he shows us the perfect spouse? Something better than we could ever imagine. Are you ready? What happens when he provides children? Are you ready? Probably not. Even though people, they think about these things, they plan for these things, when it actually happens, they realize how not ready they are. As your children age, are you ready for that perfect spouse? Something better than you can imagine, ever hoped for your children. Are you ready to receive that? Are you prepared to receive any of the best blessings imaginable, and then do so with praise and with thanksgiving? Or do you think, I worked for this. I earned this. I deserve this. That's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of people do. And of course, I would be negligent, and I don't want to be negligent. So I am going to mention this. Are you prepared to live on the new earth in the new Jerusalem? What could be better than that? That has got to be the best thing you can prepare for. And chances are you're not. You can't be completely prepared for it, but you can be preparing for it. And I hope you know what I'm going to say next. I really hope you know what I'm going to say next. You prepare by living the way you're designed to live, right? It's pretty much that simple. You know, with all of the doomsday, end of the world folks out there trying to convince you that somehow you can survive all of that if you just buy their product, if you just follow their instructions, you can live through anything. And no, you can't. No, you can't. At some point, you have to leave this earth, whether you want to or not. It's going to happen. And I'm going to remind you that the most expensive thing you can prepare for is the best thing, but there's nothing to buy. That really sounds kind of strange, doesn't it? You can prepare for the best thing, and it is the most expensive thing, but you can't buy anything. And it's expensive because it costs something that most people are not willing to pay. It costs you change. You have to change your lifestyle. You don't have to change your clothes necessarily. You don't have to change the house you're living in, but it costs you real change. It costs you a change in your heart. It costs you a change in your attitude, the way you think about your future. You know, not the end of the world future, the beginning of the new world future. And I'm not talking about New World Order here. I'm talking about New Earth, New Jerusalem. It costs you something most people are not willing to pay. You have to change. You have to live the way you're designed to live. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. And it's sad that people aren't willing to do that. You know, some of the deepest criticism I get are from Christians. Oh, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, you're trying to earn your way into heaven. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to be preparing myself to live on the new earth in the new Jerusalem. That should be our ultimate goal. And it's kind of easier than you think. Give God 90 gives you the beginning of that. You can go there. It's free, right? Just small things you can do every day that will help you as you prepare yourself for the best thing you could have. It's probably easier to think about the end of the world because, you know, I can buy this product, I can buy that service, I can do this, I can think about that. It's kind of easy to prepare for the worst. Kind of. You know, if you think about a storm coming, you think, well, I need to go to the store. And don't buy bread and milk. Those are the two things that go bad the fastest. But buy things when you're preparing for a storm that will last you 3 or 4 days without refrigeration. Unless, of course, it's in the middle of winter when it's cold. And then don't keep opening the refrigerator to see if it's still cold. You know, if it's really getting that drastic, you can take that stuff and put it outside in a snowbank or somewhere. It'll stay cold. It's kind of easy to prepare for the worst. But preparing for the best, that's something we have to think about. It's something that we have to accept. Am I preparing myself for the best? Am I preparing myself, if you're not already married, am I preparing myself for the best spouse that my Creator can show me? If you are thinking about children, am I preparing myself for the best child that our Creator can give? Am I preparing myself, if you have grown children, to receive with gratitude the absolute best spouse for my child? Am I preparing myself to receive the best blessings that my Creator can give me? Preparing for the best takes thought and it takes effort. So my question, and something to think about until next time, is, are you willing to prepare for the best? So until next time, consider those things. And I wish you many of the best blessings, everyone.